Blog Talk Radio.
Some time with me. Till I'm maybe watching Netflix, give me some good conversation. It's a matter what it is. Just come over and put some time. 30 minutes is the last time to see ya. Being busy, not free, wanna see ya. Mr. Smile, Mr. Lad, Mr. Hood, to make me feel it's on the top of the world. You made my day better. Didn't mind them crazy weather. We laid up under the cover, stain just ain't even matter. You make it feel so good, like a big kid up in the candy store. I can't leave with my eyes so big, can't have one, I need a whole lot more. You know what it is, and what it is you. So bring that ass on over and come spend some time like I thought it is. Hey boy, can you come and spend some time with me? Till I'm maybe watching Netflix, give me some good conversation. It's a matter what it is. Just come over and put some time. Hey boy, can you come and spend some time with me? Till I'm maybe watching Netflix, give me some good conversation. It's a matter what it is. Just come over and put some time. Doesn't matter if it's daylight, doesn't matter if it's nightlight. Whatever you like and it's good for you, the shawty, we can take flight. Disappear to one of the people say, stay local, but let's stay come say. You know, no booster chick and I'm down for you, it doesn't matter, just pick. All I want is your company, throw in some TLC. I'm a business agent, I might need to take a step back. Never mind. But you know what it is, and what it is you. So shawty, come on over and consent sometime like I told you. Come over, baby, come over, baby, come over, and put some time in. Baby, come over, baby, come over, baby, come over, baby, come over, and put some time in. Oh, shy boy, till I'm maybe watching Netflix, I'll be when you're chilling with me. No matter what it is. Oh, Bobby, what you just going, watching Netflix. No matter what it is. Some good conversation. Whatever you like and it's good for you, the shawty, we can take flight. Disappear to one of the people say, stay local, but let's stay come say. You know, no booster chick and I'm down for you, it doesn't matter, just pick.
Yes, that was Say Boy by Michelle Alexander out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, off of the I Am EP. You're tuned into another episode of Two Lit Tuesdays right here on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. Very quickly, I want to just talk about some things that are going on very, very quickly because I'm anxious to speak with our guest this evening. If you follow me on social media, you know that yesterday was a huge day in my life. I've been talking about it ever since I found out about it, like last month. After 40 years of working with the Coca-Cola Bottling Company out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte, North Carolina, my mother has finally retired. And last week we had the opportunity to have a retirement dinner. You know, Coke sponsored it, huge event. A lot of people that she's worked with over the past 40 years attended. Why this is so special to me is because Coke has been my life for my entire life. That's 4 years. When we came back from Germany when I was 3.5, my mother started with Coke in 79. And so Coke is literally all I know. And I saw people make comments like, oh, man, I guess now I can finally drink Pepsi or, you know what I mean, you know, I could drink a Pepsi product or whatever. That has been something that has never touched my lips, all right, because I believe in brand loyalty, which is one reason I really want to dive into this interview with our guest because her brand is phenomenal. But it's all about brand loyalty, and that's across the board, not even just, you know, with her working for Coke, for you up-and-coming artists, for you established artists, for, my literary community, brands and loyalty from your supporters and your fans, but being able to also promote that brand the way that it needs to be promoted is it's important, for those that are up and coming, for establishing your brand, for those that are already invested, seasoned. It's a way for you to take your brand to the next level. So it's very, very important. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say congratulations, Mommy, on 40 years of pure excellence. And people are like, what is she going to do now? Well, she went to Nicaragua last October with Coke on a mission trip. She leaves on the 27th, going back for another 10 days to kind of build upon what she started back in October. And then from there, she'll be in South Africa. Like every month, my mom's going to be in another country. People are like, oh, she gets to slow down and rest. Nah. Now she's going to be working for the community and just doing really big things. I hope she goes into politics. I want to be a campaign manager, no doubt. Also, most of you know my oldest son is in the military, and he's preparing for deployment in October to Kuwait. So he finally left on Saturday. I lost both my kids on Saturday. I didn't lose them, just for temporary. But my son went to Fort Irwin. They call that Death Valley. And I was asking some other soldiers, like, what is it, really that hot? And they were like, yeah, it's in the Mojave Desert. It is significantly hot. I mean, I know he was drinking mad water before he left here, but that's the reason why. So just keep him, those of you who believe in the power of prayer, keep him lifted in your prayers as he's there for a month. And then he'll leave there, come home for 2 weeks, and then he'll be in Fort Bliss for 2 months. And he will deploy from Fort Bliss. All right. So, and also my daughter left for California on Saturday morning as well. I mean, the crack of dawn, like 4 o'clock. She had to be at the airport. And people have been asking me, like, all week, like, didn't your daughter graduate? Yeah. But she still has obligations to her high school FCCLA team. They got there Saturday afternoon. They actually competed today. They got a lot of positive feedback from the judges. And they'll be back this coming Saturday, hopefully bringing home the gold. Yes. All right. Sunday ended Black Music Month. Sunday also ended Pride Month. Now, like any other holiday or month that is celebrated, it just doesn't end with that month. It continues, especially for those people in the LGBTQIA, yes, I got it all this time, communities. But I think the biggest part for the ending of Pride will be Lil Nas X's announcement. I'm sorry, his it wasn't really an announcement. It was more of a coming out in a more, what's the word I'm looking for? I done said the word all week. I don't even know. And then more, he did it his own way. All right, let's say that. He did it his own way. And so I've had people, question, like, how do you feel about it? Because I've made just comments about the lyrics in, his song, Old Town Road. And so I've been asked questions like, the past 2 days, like, how do you feel now that he's come out? And like somebody put like the hip hop community is gonna like shun him and he won't be appreciated or accepted anymore in the hip hop community. And I'm like, what does his sexual orientation have to do with his talent and how people perceive his music? First and foremost, we knew him as this artist who came on the scene with this crazy hit, crossed over into the country / trap genre, and that's all we knew. You know what I mean? So what difference does it make now that he's stated his sexual orientation? He's classifying himself as gay. Like how does that affect him and his music? And somebody said something earlier today. They said, well, he said in his latest tweet, like, I'm straight, but I didn't really get it, And I said, well, think about it. He's not now going back on what he said. He's not trolling for, the comments or whatever, but he's straight. Like, literally, he's still cool. People, you could still fuck with him because he gave you this information, stop being so homophobic and just get with it. Like, how many other hip-hop artists and rappers are out there that we knowingly know of, not the ones that are still in the deal, but the ones that we know of, you know what I'm saying? Their sales haven't declined. If you opt not to listen to his music, then so be it, you know what I mean? People just always need something to talk about, and I just think that this isn't that thing you need to talk about. You want to talk about something, let's talk about 15-year-old Corey Coco Goff. Right? She's the young lady who defeated Venus Williams yesterday at Wimbledon. 15 years old, yes. And she had the opportunity to not only play against one of her idols, but defeat her as well in a 6-4 match. Just a little bit about Coco. Her real name, like I said, is Corey, and she's the youngest player to get to Wimbledon. Like, I thought the girl who beat Serena last year was like the youngest. So maybe she had some other, no, she was like Asian and the first Asian. All right, there we go. All right, thank you. So she is the youngest to appear at Wimbledon. She had to work her butt off to get there. She did pass 3 rounds of qualifying, including defeating Belgian great, her name is Greet Minen. She defeated her, and that young lady is ranked 154th in the world, and Goff is actually ranked at 313th in the world. She comes from a family of athletes. Her father was a basketball player at Georgia State, and her mother ran track for Florida State. So it's very fitting for her to, remain athletic. She garnered the success at a very young age. She's played at many different arenas, on many different courts. And this right here is I want to say the culmination, but it's the start of an awesome career. And she got a chance to talk to Venus afterwards, who congratulated her and let her know that, she was destined for much more success. She goes on to play, I want to say the number 33rd, 32nd, one of those. She goes on to play her later on this week, and so we're cheering for her and wishing her much success right here from Endie Fiya. I've talked enough. I want to jump right into my interview. My guest this evening is Patrice Rivers. She's a 32-year-old boss babe who is a journalist and writer. She loves to tell stories about people and their success. She is the proud owner of her own brand, that Rivers GURL brand, which represents her being an author of 6 books, a freelance writer, a blogger, and a podcaster of TRGB Radio. Patrice is now the owner of her own magazine, Black Stardom, which you can read on www.blaqstardommag.com. Get to know this boss baby. She strives to be successful as a businesswoman. As an author, Patrice Rivers has authored 6 books with different genres, such as inspirational, children's fiction, and poetry. Her 7th book, entitled Through My Lens, will be published this year. This will be an inspirational book of poetry. As a writer, she states that writing has always been in her blood since the tender age of 9. She has freelanced for several publications over the last 10 years. Patrice has written for women's magazines to entertainment magazines. And as a journalist, alongside of writing, storytelling has always been a passion for Patrice. She has interviewed more than 100 people, ranging from business owners to music artists to public figures to celebrities. Her first cover story was actually with Tanya Acker. Endie Fiya listener, audience, fans, and followers, I present to you this evening my guest. I left the word out: entrepreneur, journalist, writer, and author, Patrice Rivers.
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for that wonderful
introduction. Well. How are you?
I'm great.
So don't remind me. I don't need the listeners to remind me. I have a habit that I wait. Like, there's a pause after I say your name, because I'm waiting, for the applause in the background. But I have to realize that I'm the one who hits the button for the applause. So I always miss the cue, for myself. So yes, I'm gonna cheer you. Woo! Yes. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. You could have been anywhere, taking the time and the opportunity to be here with me. And I know this has been a trial, process for you. We've had to reschedule and I think you had to reschedule.
Oh, yeah.
Then my sister's in the hospital, and so, there's a lot of weekends, but I'm glad I finally got the opportunity to be here this evening.
Me too. Thank you.
So just right off, why this area? Writing and journalism. What inspired you to go into those fields?
Well, I was actually blessed with that gift. As you mentioned, at the age of 9, that was something I always saw myself doing. I actually wrote my first creative story. I don't remember the title. A long time ago. It was in elementary school. It was just out the blue. And then I always had a vivid imagination, just, great with words and everything. So I decided to stick with that. So I wrote a lot of short stories. That's how I really got started. Then, of course, high school, at the age of 15, I started writing poetry. I was inspired to write poetry by one of my friends in high school. So, I still write poetry to this day, but actually writing books, like I said, I'm a storyteller. I like creating characters and just creating that story. So that's always something that I enjoy doing. So, of course, I published my first book in 2012, my first book that was published. So, yeah, that's something I'm always, enjoy doing. Was on the newspaper for high school and my college newspaper. So, and then also freelancing for different publications while in college and freelancing for a local newspaper in Petersburg. So I kept at it, for the last 10-plus years. So it's in my blood.
I would definitely think that it was in your blood. Now, you mentioned that you published your first book in 2012. How did publishing your first book change your writing process overall?
Writing my first book, it was actually a poetry book, and my parents, kind of pushed me to decided, that I should publish my first book because I made it this far writing. So the whole writing process, well, for me, poetry is really, really easy for me. I can just write a poem in like 10 minutes. And when I tell people that, they're like, really? Yeah. And this book, my first book, is a book of inspirational poetry, motivational poetry. So it's a lot of different encouragement poems inside. So after I published my first book, of course, I'm a published author. Then I continue to write more books. It's a process because, it can take me between 2 weeks to maybe 6 months or 3 months to write a book. It just depends on the genre at the time.
Well, you answered my next question. All right, we're starting off being telepathic this evening. That would have been my next question. Typically, how long does it take you to write a book? So once you start the whole writing process, you said that you enjoy, the coming up with the characters. And when you write from the opposite sex perspective, is that an issue for you?
It's kind of funny that you asked me that. I never written from the opposite sex before. But I will challenge myself to do that. Yeah, it's always been female, writing from, female point of view or my characters. But I do have male characters in my books, the fiction ones I've written, but I just never wrote from no, I take that back. Wait a minute. My sixth book actually, cause I had several characters, so of course going back and forth telling all their stories. But it's maybe a little challenge because then you got to really study the male perspective at things. So, but that particular book, it wasn't too hard, but I'm very observant. So yeah, that was only one time though.
So I know that you're a journalist as well.
Yes.
What did you go to school for?
Went to school, major in mass communications, study print media for the focus. Okay. So yeah, definitely, yeah.
And so, how did you? and that's how you proceeded on into. That's how you proceeded on into the career as a journalist.
Yes, because writing for my college newspaper, that really helped a lot. But of course, I had to take news writing in the classes anyway, like 3 different parts. So that gave me a great opportunity and experience to not only write articles, but to interview people as well. So that was a big change and a big experience for that. So to give me hands-on experience to interview people and to be a journalist and tell a story.
Somebody, and I get the craziest questions. I mean, I don't know where people dig them out of their ass, I guess. I don't know. But somebody asked me when the promo started for your interview, and they said, I think they follow you on Instagram. And so they go, well, you know, she got a podcast too, right? And I'm like, yeah. So how does that make you feel? You're one of those narrow and closed-minded. Wait, no, this is what they asked me. How does it make me feel to interview somebody else who also does the same thing? And I said, see, you're one of those closed-minded individuals that you don't see outside of the box. You know what I mean? So there's going to be something that I'm going to be able to take from this interview to push me to the next level. And there's also going to be something that she's going to be able to take from this interview that's going to push her maybe in a different direction. And so it's not all about, I used to tell my artists this all the time, you know, you can't help. You can't receive your blessings if you're constantly, you know, closed fist. When you receive blessings, you reach up, you say thank you, God. But if your fist is closed, you know, that's more of an empowerment. You know, you may be struggling with something, but you have to open up your hands to be able to receive your blessings. Now, don't keep them closed fists. You now need to reach down and be able to pull somebody else up. So, again, I had to state, you know, there may be something that she brings to this interview that's just going to push me to another level and vice versa. But as a podcaster and as a female podcaster, do you suffer any, you know, resistance from guests, from those on social media, you know, from your own family? Do you suffer any resistance at all?
Not really, because with social media, you know, it can be tricky. Of course, back then, before I had my whole business thing, my platform, of course, I was just on there trying to network and that sort of thing. But now, just I'm trying to focus more on just networking and gaining a more variety of my audience. So it's like strictly business, but then at the same time, it can be a challenge because the lack of support. From when I'm always talking about that, been talking about that for years, and it's like, some people support. It just mentally for me, I guess it's frustrating, but you know, so I have to shut down from Instagram or social media, or mainly Instagram, because I mainly connect more with my clients on Instagram. People find me more on Instagram, so I'm trying to work on not getting too upset that if someone doesn't support me, you know, I always support everybody else, but I don't expect it in return. But, of course, they're saying, you know, within the black community, black-owned businesses, you know, a lot of us don't support each other, so that sort of thing. But I try to have that positive vibe when I go on Instagram or social media in general, just to promote my brand, you know, just promote my current promotions for my magazine or whatever. But I don't know, it's just kind of hard at times. Still dealing with that, you know.
Yeah, I completely understand. And probably once a month, like I got to trip out on somebody on Facebook or on Instagram because you don't have a problem tagging me in everything that you're putting out. But you can't share. I can't even get positive feedback.
I had a post on that.
So, yeah, reciprocity, I believe in reciprocity, you know. And a lot of people, you know, it's about what I can get, not what I can help you get, not what we can get together. It's, you know, it's all about me and what I could do for me, you know, what you could do for me. So, yeah, I got an issue with that. I'm struggling hard with that, very hard. But then at the end of the day, like I don't know, I counsel a lot of people, and this one author is having issues with the fact that, you know, he gets a lot of positive feedback from his fans and his followers.
Right.
But he wants people like in his church to support him. And it, it may not be for them to support you because this is your vision. These are your dreams, and everybody's not going to be able to help you chase your dreams, and they're not going to be able to understand your vision because that's your vision. But as long as you stay tapped in, you got to stay tapped in to what the master has in store for you. And as long as you walk in that path, you got to walk in that path. As long as you do that, then, screw the other people. That's how I feel. And for me, this show for me was all about being able to provide the avenue of expression for the independent community, just to be able to promote and get their platform out to, maybe a different fan base. It's never been about anything else. And I feel like at the end of the day, if that's what I've done, then I'm still walking in my purpose and I'm fulfilling my mission. So that's what I have to remember. I have to remember when people are not for me the way that I feel like they should be for me, or they're not, promoting me. Like I feel like, I promote the hell out of other people, but I feel like they're not reciprocating. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I personally have to work on, because again, I know that if I'm doing on this show what I'm supposed to be doing, then my mission is being fulfilled. So I wholeheartedly feel you on that right there, because that's something that I myself have to work on. But I want to talk about I want to talk about what I know you for, and that's the brand. And I realize that everything falls up under the brand, but the name itself, that Rivers GURL brand. When you started your brand, what was your mission at the outset? What were you aiming to do?
Basically, I wanted people to understand, my audience to understand what is it that I do, that Patrice Rivers does. That Rivers GURL, that just came upon, I did an intern at Virginia State University, a PR intern, and her website was That Jones Girl. Her first name was Felicia. So I'm like, that's a catchy name. So later down the line, maybe like about 5 years ago, I just came up with That Rivers GURL. That's kind of stuck because my last name is Rivers. I kind of want to keep it close to me. I just wanted to show people and let people know and see what I do as Patrice Rivers. Of course, I'm an author, have my own magazine, a journalist, a writer for different publications. And I don't really say this a lot or promote it a lot, but I do make, bracelets and earrings. I don't really promote it that much, but sometimes I do. So I just want people to understand what I do as an individual. So that name, That Rivers GURL brand, is trying to brand myself, brand myself the best way I know how.
I think you accomplished that.
Yeah.
Now, what services or products do you offer?
Well, right now, writing services, because since I am a writer, I want to give back to the writing community, the whole literary community. Because a lot of small business owners or businesses in general, they may need help, writing a press release or a professional bio, cover letter for a job, or content for their website, their blog, things like that. I want to be able to offer. So that's one of my main services, besides my promotions and stuff with my magazine. But my main service is the writing services.
What would you say is unique about your brand?
That's a good question. What is unique? What is unique about my brand? Lord, that is a good question. I would say for That Rivers GURL, I try to do things differently because I hate to be like other brands and other businesses. That's a mind-blowing question. I like to stand out, from other writers or authors. I don't know. I'm just trying to offer a lot of resources. There aren't too many people that I know of that offer writing services. I'm just trying to give back, instead of being that another author. I'm just trying to do more, offering more resources for new authors, for the writing community as a whole. So I'm trying to do that differently, I would say. So I think that's what makes my brand unique, per se. Hope that's a good answer.
Very good answer.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned resources. Are there any resources that have helped you along your journey? I mean, I'm sure there are multitudes, but specifically, what resources have you used that have helped you?
Well, foremost, as an author, the resource of becoming a self-publisher. Of course, if you are a new author and you don't really know about publishing companies, you get some good ones, bad ones, but somebody mentioned to me the resource of self-publishing on Amazon, through Amazon. It used to be CreateSpace when there was Kindle Direct Publishing, and that has helped me a whole lot with the last 2-3 books that I've written. The process, is really, really useful. So I think that's a great tool, a great resource. Of course, editing, your work, hiring the editor, because I cannot stress that enough. Because a lot of people, especially book readers and people that like to read in general, when they leave reviews, if you have a lot of mistakes in your book, and I don't like to read books that has a lot of grammar errors. No. So another resource, like I said, to have a professional editor, and sometimes you're going to have to invest in that. Some editors don't charge a lot, $50, $100, just depends. And it's really great to have. I invest in an editor. So from an author point of view, of course, that's another great resource to have. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a pupil there. First time I was in college, and I tutored English, and that was, I thought back then, like, I don't even know how I got involved with this, but I've seen over the last 2 decades, it has helped me tremendously, because now I'm a beta reader for a couple of authors, and the one thing that I detest is to open the book and on page 1, I count out 17 grammatical errors, off top. Now, I'm a I don't know, my eyes hone in on everything that is wrong.
Me too.
From, the point of view, from the grammatical errors, from putting a comma where the semicolon should have been.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I get every single thing. So that is very important to have an editor. And if you have to invest in yourself, well, hell, at some point you're going to need to invest in yourself. You can't just piggyback off of, I sold 3 books today, I'm going to pocket this money. No, that money needs to go in places that are going to help you to become a better, a better writer or a better musician or whatever it is that your career path is. It's going to help you become better at what you do, because you don't want to stay mediocre. You don't want to stay, complacent, be right there, I'm good right here. No, you don't want to do that. So if you have to invest, then do so. Please do so, because people like me will talk about you. I'll talk about you. I'm not giving you a good review when your shit is garbage.
Yep,
I'm not
exactly.
I
did that recently.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a book I read, and I won't mention the author name because I don't want to put them on blast. But I read, each page has so much errors, and I was taking my pencil and I was marking, correcting stuff. I'm like, the whole book. It really just threw me off. And I gave a really detailed, review. Invest in an editor, because I don't think that person, she said she had an editor, but apparently, no. Because from the wording, the grammar, from the language and everything, I don't know how she, I don't know. I'm like, Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
That's important.
I do understand.
Definitely.
If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Two It Tuesdays on Endie Fiya with Nakia and my special guest, Patrice Rivers. I'm going to give her a moment just to catch her breath, and we're going to jump right into this Let This Beat Sing by the Jamaican princess of pop, Yashe.
I'm not usually this shy, but my apologies for acting rude, for acting shy. I'm usually collected, but with you I can't see why I act stupid, so stupid. I'm gonna let this beat sing to you, cause I can't be straight when I'm with you. So I'm gonna let this beat sing till I hear my own ring, till you scream at my name. Drunk in love, I'll run away. Baby, you know you're the truth. No lie, no lie, no lie, no lie. I'm letting this beat sing tonight. No lie, no lie, no lie. 'Cause boy, you're the truth and this beat won't lie. This beat won't lie. This beat won't lie. So if you want me, I'll be sitting by the corner, inhaling marijuana. You know I stay lit. I'ma let this beat sing to you, cause I can't be straight when I'm with you. I'ma let this beat sing to you. I'ma let this beat sing to you, cause I can't be straight when I'm with you. So I'ma let this beat sing till I hear my own ring, till you scream at my name. Drunk in love, I'll run away. I can't find the words. I just wanna give you what you deserve. And when I'm by your side, you make me feel. You make me feel high. Baby, you know you're the truth. You know I'm straight up IJA. Got people thinking I'm a cell phone network, all it's calling my name. But with you, it's different, and the words never come to mind. Since I can't keep it real in the convo, I'ma spit it to you in a rhyme. I'ma let the space sing to you.
Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Jerusalem from the Scarfella Music Group, and you on the air with the hottest station, Endie Fiya, with your host, Lil Timmy and Nakia, right here on the station bringing you all the hottest hip hop hits. Endie Fiya, let's get it.
Let's get it. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Two It Tuesdays with Nakia on Endie Fiya and our special guest, Patrice Rivers. Jumping right back into this interview. How would you measure success in your role as CEO, as owner of that Rivers GURL brand? How do you measure your success?
Well, I measure my success, actually as an author, basically giving my audience what they want, and that's, of course, books. That's, like I said, I've been blessed with this gift, and I just want to be able to use it. Every book that I publish, every interview that I do for magazines, I feel successful, for each one. And I know that my purpose here on earth and my goal is to be that storyteller through my books and through interviews. But being an author foremost, that's just number one for me. And each book that I publish is just another successful accomplishment. So basically working hard towards what I want to do, what I'm, good at, working towards new visions, new goals, and actually completing them. That's how I measure success.
How do you feel that you can make your company better?
Well, I can definitely make my company better. Having more engagement rather. The marketing, and it stresses marketing, promotion, I can definitely use more help in that area. Of course, I can promote all I want on social media, but, of course, you can't make people, buy your product, your services, and buy your book or whatever. So if I can just engage more with my followers, engage more with my audience, I think it will make my brand, my business better, and I guess things will go more smoother. Because without the engagement, then, of course, your audience, your followers, they're not going to know exactly what you're doing. Instead of selling,
right.
A lot of people sell all the time, just, do things differently, like ask questions or what are your goals this week. Just kind of engage more with your followers. So I'm trying to do that more this year. Mm-hmm.
So with engagement, describe how you currently foster stronger business-to-consumer relationships.
Basically, to try to consume a relationship with other people instead of asking them all the time, okay, do you want to buy this, buy that? Just kind of look into what they're doing and liking their posts. I'm not saying I like every single post, but comment and, just a little bit of encouragement. So I'm trying to do that more because I get all different types of followers. About daily, every other day, I would say. And just trying to engage with them or network with them, just introducing yourself to them. So I need to do that more as we speak. And it's just all about the engagement. I think that's so important.
So, again, I'm still on engagement. Does your company help out in the community where you're located?
In VA. Actually, my company, I want to do more in my hometown. I tried that in the past, and things backfired for me, trying to network with different people locally.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely backfired. Not saying that everybody, of course, in my area is bad, but I'm just trying to get out of that mindset because my audience, is mainly in other places besides Virginia, but I know there are some good people, good entrepreneurs, and things in the community that I need to revisit. It's just that one bad experience just kind of knocked me down. So I do want to be involved in my community as far as, of course, covering stories on site or, just, covering stories like the news. That's one of my goals, but like I said, trying to find the right, people, organization here in BA. So that's what I want to do.
Sounds good. Now, I know about the magazine because I stalk people. When I find out they're going to be on the show, that's a huge opening for me to go and stalk all their social media and find everything out about them. But for my listening audience who may not have had the opportunity to log onto the website, talk about Black Stardom magazine.
Okay. Well, this is my second magazine, actually. The first one for you. I was doing it every month. It was a lot of hard work, so I had to shut that down after about 3.5 years. But with Black Stardom, I kind of waited a little bit to see if I really wanted to start another magazine, so I did. Of course, I'm going to research names and trying to find something that fits. Black Stardom is directed towards African Americans that are business owners, entrepreneurs, authors, indie artists, in different genres, industries. And basically that magazine highlights people of color that's doing good in their community, that has a new business or they just release a new book, to put some shine on them independently. Of course, we hear about celebrities all the time, and that's cool and everything, but I want to focus more on independent, artists,
right.
and independent business owners, to give them a platform to share their story. Because, sometimes a lot of things are lacking in the African-American community, so I definitely wanted to create something for them, for African-Americans. So that's, the reason why I named it Black Stardom. Of course, Black. I just kind of changed the spelling of it. And Stardom, of course, you know how you hear about celebrities and everything, they're always in the spotlight. So, of course, Stardom just kind of came to, so no one else had that platform, that name, so I kind of bought the domain on WordPress and kind of, went from there. So the magazine is published in print maybe about 3 times a year. I'm not trying to do it every month and kill myself like my last magazine. So just kind of spreading it out and just kind of bring more exposure for African Americans and minority in their business.
Yeah, you learn from trial and error.
Yeah.
But if you see that something that you're passionate about, then you're not going to let it go. You're going to figure out a way to make things work. So I salute you on that right there.
Thank you.
Most definitely. What's the last thing that you learned?
The last thing I learned. Let's see. Let me backtrack. Oh, gosh. Not to trust everybody, because I'll give you a prime example. Like I said, dealing with people on social media, you deal with a whole lot of people. And people will, they'll email you about business. I had someone recently, actually, they was interested in purchasing a feature for my magazine with a client. And, I used, of course, PayPal and Cash App, but she didn't have Cash App, so we did PayPal. But anyways, I never had an issue with anybody using, sending me money through PayPal for professional reasons. And, of course, make a long story short, she wanted to call me a scammer, just really turn the table.
Oh, my.
Because I never had an issue with people, like I said, paying me through PayPal. It was under, I'm not sure how she paid it or what button she hit on her end, but, it was in a pending balance, but it wasn't directly in my PayPal balance. So I'm not sure. She really opened up a case towards me. You know how that goes, the claims on her PayPal.
Yeah,
I didn't even do anything. So lesson learned, kind of do your research on people before you do business with them. I've been, dealing with that a whole lot a few times this year, last year. I don't know what it is. I don't know if my luck is bad. I don't know. But just be careful who you, work with and do your research. But that was a stressful moment for me. Really. I was just, frustrated.
I can feel you on that right there.
Yeah.
I won't even say it's a similar incident, but it didn't involve money at all. But we had a guest on the show. We had a young lady who was supposed to appear on the show last year. And typically word of mouth and promo speaks for itself. I don't go to nobody and ask them to be on the show. You see promo, or you heard somebody on the show, and now you want the opportunity to be on the show. So he confronted, us. She wanted to be on the show. We got the little promo going. She got the little promo package or whatever. And the night of the show, she didn't show up.
Oh, Lord.
And so I didn't know, I didn't know if something had happened, or, I'm messaging her like, hey, what's going on? What happened? Well, she blocked me, and she blocked my co-host as well.
What?
So
That's
I'm
crazy.
thinking, well, what happened? Why
Yes,
she blocked
crazy.
me? She needs to be on the show, you know what I mean? So it wasn't until later on that night, I got 7 different Instagram accounts, all right? So I went to her page from another account, and she's talking crazy trash about us, She was like, I was there for the interview. They didn't even show up. They didn't even have the, the courtesy of letting me know what was going on or whatever.
God.
I had to drag her on social media because that's just me.
Oh
I had to drag her, and I had to let her know, you need to be real. You got all these fans and these followers to let them know that, no, you flaked on us. It wasn't the other way around. So, when I say
that's
I do
crazy.
research on people now, I really research people because I don't have a problem talking the whole show. My followers know that I'll talk a whole show. But I promote you, you know what I mean, and you do this, but no just cause. It would be one thing if you've been on the show in the past or if you actually knew us and we might have done something derogative or said something derogative, but I don't show that side of me, on social media. I keep it professional. So I have no idea where that came from. So, that was my lesson. You need to research your people and your people need to research the people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when it's time for you, everything is good. I ain't had no problem since then. No problem.
Wow. Yeah, because I don't want people ask me questions about my services because I promote it anyway on my page, my Instagram. I'd be glad for the business, but I don't mind people researching me. But that incident, like, to call me a scam, like, really? Because I never had this issue, like I said, through PayPal since 2016. I've been using PayPal since 2009, so I never had an issue with someone sending me a payment and you writing this long message that I'm professional and no. And then the funny thing and the sad part sometimes that a lot of people that you have mutual friends with, whether it's on Instagram or whatever, they believe it. And so that's another issue I have. So, like, who are you going to believe? Like, that just makes, I don't know. I'm trying to stress about it, but it's crazy at times. It's just sometimes hard to ignore it, and sometimes I don't know. So
that was your lesson learned.
Yeah.
So what's the last thing that you taught somebody else?
Whew. Dang, I don't remember teaching them. Well, I can say as far as publishing for new authors, that I taught was, of course, a great example, my coworker, because he writes books, and I'm trying to teach him how to self-publish because he never did self-publishing before. So, of course, I want to be able to teach him, which I'm in the process now when we link up, to teach him how to properly self-publish a book. It's a few steps, but it's real easy, simple. It's free. It don't cost nothing. You can set up your own cover through Cover Creator or have somebody, professionally do it. And also your prices. You can make up your own prices for ebook or the paperback. So teaching him, and I love teaching new authors and old authors how to self-publish their book. Because sometimes choosing a traditional publishing company, it can be tricky. It can be a lot of money for one, or two, fraud. I dealt with the fraud part, for one of my children's books. So dealing with that. So that was a lesson learned with that. But, yeah, self-publishing is a great thing, to do. So teaching him as an author and other people how to self-publish. So, yeah, that was actually today. So that was a good one.
All right. So with that being said, what piece of advice can you offer or can you give to someone who is just starting out as an entrepreneur, is just starting out as an author, just graduated college, mass communications and journalism. You've been in this for a minute. What piece of advice could you offer this individual? They listen to this show, they hear this interview, they follow you on IG, but never ask questions that they wanted to ask.
Right.
What could you say to that person right now?
Well, the first thing, just to ask yourself this question, do I really want to do this? Is this really what I want to do? Because once you answer that question, yes, it's a lot of things, steps to follow. Of course, be passionate about it. A lot of times we do things, but we're not passionate about it because we see other people doing it. Create your own lane. Create a brand or your business, that's unique from others. And a lot of times it may be similar, but ask yourself, what things can I offer, what services or products can I offer to other people? Who is my target audience? But like I said, don't give up. that's a lot of times I wanted to give up over the years because I felt like people weren't buying my books. And especially when I published my first book back in 2012, I really felt the heat because I felt like I was competing against other authors. They were best-selling authors. They've been on the best authors seller list on Amazon and stuff. I felt, kind of depressed with that. But like I said, if it's a passion, if you're really passionate about being an author, being a writer, or writer in general, then you're going to keep going. You're going to keep doing it no matter what. So that was a stepping stone for me. And even though I'm still kind of dealing with it, but I have to remind myself, why am I doing it in the first place? If it's a definite passion, you got to keep going, especially if it's a purpose, if it's a gift by God, you got to keep going. You got to keep going, keep focused, know your audience, and ask questions. If you don't have a mentor, if you can't get a mentor, that would be great too. Just ask a lot of questions and just keep going,
That's good information. That is excellent information right there. And even once you get established, never stop asking the questions.
Yeah.
Continue to build upon the brand that you first started. Again, don't stay in that complacent position. You have to be working for something bigger than what you accomplished yesterday. And then the next day, and then the next day. You know what I'm saying? Every day your goals should be a little higher than what they were the previous day, so that you yourself can get in that Black Stardom magazine. All right, so I'm cheering for you, whoever you are listening. I'm cheering for you right now.
Definitely.
This is the part of the show where I give you the opportunity. It's the worst part of the show. It's time to say goodbye. But it's the time of the show when I give you the opportunity to go ahead and get all of your contact information out for those who are listening live, for those who may come back and listen to the playback show on one of our various different platforms. If they're interested in being placed in the magazine, if they're interested in, your information in regards to self-publishing, if they want to get you on their show, on a speaking engagement, this is the opportunity for you to get all your social media contact information out now so that they can link up with you.
All right. So you can connect with me Instagram, that Rivers Girl brand, and, of course, Rivers is a Z, not an S, and girl with the U, not an I. So that Rivers Girl brand on Instagram. Definitely you can check out my website, patricerivers.com. That's PatriceRivers. It has everything on my website, so you can click on different links. My magazine, Black Stardom, it's BLAQ Stardom. You can find that on WordPress, but the website is blackstardommag.com. You can check out my books on Amazon. Patrice Rivers, my name, and I think that's what it is. But if you go to my website, patricerivers.com, everything is up there. My book links, the link to my book, my new book, you can pre-order it still, comes out on Monday, July 8th. Also, my magazine, everything is on my website. So I have different menus you can click on and check out everything. My writing samples, everything. So, yeah, there you go. So hope to connect with you, network with you. I'm excited.
Awesome. So if you did not catch all of them, I hope you did not, I'm sorry, if you didn't miss all of them, I hope you caught some of them. There we go. Make sure that you're connecting with her on IG, again, on both websites. All the questions you need to ask. I'm sure she got an FAQ section. If not, confront her one-on-one and ask her. Don't sit out there in the wide open and just be dumbfounded and clueless. At some point, you got to swallow your pride and ask questions. All right, I'm learning that. I'm learning to do that. I really am. Because this is very stressful having to do all of this alone now. So I am swallowing a little bit of my pride and starting to ask questions. Make sure you're following this show, Endie Fiya, on all social media platforms. That's ENDIEFIYA. Make sure you're following me, the Girl in Motion, on all social media platforms. That's GRLNMOTION. As you all know, last month was Black Music Month, right? Every day we spotlighted an artist or musical contribution. On the last day of the month, we chose to spotlight all of the independent artists who have been on the show. So take the time to go over to www.indiefireradio.com. Click on galleries, and you'll see all of the artists and the literary artists, the business owners who have been on the show the past 3 seasons. Yes, July 17th, we celebrate 3 years here. It's going to be a huge show on the 16th with my former co-host, Delshawn Mays, live right here in the studio with me. No show this coming Thursday because it's the 4th of July. You know, we don't do holidays. So we'll be back here on next Tuesday, the 9th of July with somebody. I don't know. I don't have the calendar. But just be here. Don't worry about it. Just be here. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, I want to leave you with a quote. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. That's Confucius. Until next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Patrice, thank you so much for being here with me this evening.
Thank you.
You are so very welcome. Once you're on the show, your family, so you're welcome back at any time.
Oh, thank you. That feels so special.
You're welcome. So until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday, have a good night.